Hey everyone, this is VJose32. This is a deck of the week, and there's actually two decks this week for deck of the week. I figured I'd do them both at the same time, get them over with. So let's look at these ones first. The Steamboats. It says 999 playing cards and Steamboat on the front with this old-fashioned Steamboat, like you might see on the Mississippi. And there is embossing on the front of it, on the writing anyways, not on the boat. 999 Steamboat on the one side with embossing. Made in USA with embossing on the other side. The top says Steamboat Poker underneath the seal, and there is embossing. The bottom has the Dan&Dave logo and some trademark stuff. And in the back, you see the back design of the cards, which is a floral type pattern. It's almost like a bee deck. And you got just a almost vintage looking blue seal. And actually nothing on the flaps. Look at the cards. You do get a couple of ad cards. This one has a Dan&Dave logo, and then it's basically a waist. It says dan&dave.com. Follow them on their Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Vimeo for updates. And that's all it says. And then the other one is even worse. It just has the Dan&Dave logo. Completely waste of a card. They could have used this as a blank card, but instead they wasted it. The cards, you have standard faces, as you can see. The Ace of Spades looks like this, fairly standard, except it says Steamboat 999 on top instead of bicycle. The rest is the same. The Jokers look like this. There's a Steamboat on there, it says Joker on top. There's a little US logo in here, and then US in the two corners. Fairly standard. And it's just like other Steamboat decks. And you do get a second one, just like that. Couple things about the cards. These cards do have a smooth finish and they're very slippery. And they have a nice stock. It's supposed to be thin, but it's fairly standard stock, I think. And also I was going to mention is the cards, as you can see if I compare it here, are not white. They have a greenish or grayish tint to them, kind of like the vintage flat decks and whatever other decks Dan&Dave has done that had that color to them. Not sure why they do it, but they do it. And of course the back design looks like this. Really nice, but it is borderless. We all know how I feel about borderless decks. Overall, they handle pretty nice. And the really good thing about borderless decks is when you fan them, you can't tell if you're fanning good or not. If it's bad or not. Overall, pretty nice decks. I'm not sure how durable the smooth finish would be. Usually it's not as durable as an air cushion finish, but it's not bad. And if you don't have any Steamboats in your collection and you want some, now's your chance to get them. dan&dave.com. The other deck is the same except it's blue. And here's your back design. Pretty nice again. And you do get the two waist cards. And then you get the new fan backs, which I like a little bit better. The front of the box, of course, says US Playing Card Company and bicycle on top. New fan back playing cards on the bottom. And it's got this nice gold foil accents to it. And there is embossing on the writing again. Made in USA on the one side with embossing. 808 bicycle on the other side. Again, embossing on the top. Bicycle in this vintage font with embossing. It has a lot of, it has a real vintage feel to it, the way they did the writing and the fonts and everything. The bottom, Dan and Dave logo and trademark stuff as usual. And in the back, you see the back design of the cards, and you do get that blue seal again. And one thing I will say is these cards are not your standard red and blue, as you can probably tell. In fact, I could probably show you a comparison right here. You can see it's a bit of a darker red than this other one, and the blue again is a little bit darker, I think. And this one does actually have some trademark stuff on the flap, whereas the Steamboats did not. You do get the two waist cards again. And here's your back design. Fairly standard, just like the other new fan backs that you may or may not have. If you don't have any, they're pretty nice cards. Again, standard faces and chord cards. Standard bicycle jokers. Two of them. And, of course, good old Ace of Spades. Fairly standard deck. And, again, wasted cards. I don't know why they did that. These ones do have a fairly standard bicycle stock and finish, an air cushion finish, or possibly a magic finish, I'm not sure. I do know they handle really nice. I like them. Overall, they're really nice decks, and for me, there was no question I was going to get them. Especially when I saw these nice gold foil accents and the vintage looking boxes. I want to figure out the D&D is in red in this one. Anyway, overall, pretty nice cards. And if you don't have any of these, new fan backs or the Steamboats and you want them, now's your time to pick them up at dan&dave.com. And like I said, they're pretty nice. I really think these cards are disappointing. They're a complete waste. If they didn't want to throw in blank cards or whatever, or an ad card, then, why bother put these cards in there? It's just a complete waste. But overall, the back designs are standard. The faces are standard. They handle pretty nice. Can be used for magic. And they're not that expensive. I think they were $4.95 each, or something like that. So go check them out, dan&dave.com. That is my reviews for today, for this week. Tuesday I will be doing another deck review, probably the White Moth Myth deck. And then a week today, the next deck of the week will be one of these decks. The Gold Bee Coterie deck, the Floral deck, or the Bicycle Necronomicon. The only question is, which one do you want to see first? You tell me which deck you want me to review, and I will review it next week, Thursday. Alright, that's all I've got. I'll see you next time. And remember, keep on shuffling. That's my new slogan. Keep on shuffling. Alright, see you.